You are listening to the First Down Breakdown with Beast and Breeze picks.
Like I've been ballin' 'cause I'm really ballin'. I wanna buy the Jags, I'm not really sorry.
All right, what is going on, folks? We're back for week 4 of the First Down Breakdown. Kind of a fun week 3 on my end, man. Breeze, kind of a little bit slower week. He had to kind of come back down to earth, but man, huge week for me. I went 6-0 on my plays, guys, 5-0 on the podcast. We had a clerical error a little bit on the teaser. We announced -9. We meant to announce -8 on that. Every book had -8. So that was actually a winner. And especially if you guys followed on Action Network, you guys saw that. And then on Monday Night Football, I added one play and I hit that. That was an over on Tony Pollard, 7.5 rushing attempts. The guy had 10 in the first half. So big week for me, man. I kind of had to come on here and throw a little bit of brags out, man. Hey, about time, dude. I was 4-8 entering this week, guys, and 6-0 puts me at 10-8. Breeze came back down to earth, but he's 14-11-1 on the season, guys. So he's doing even better than I am. We got 2 winning records. That's all I can ask for 3 weeks in, you know?
Yeah.
So.
My back's not hurting as bad from carrying the team, you know?
Right. It was getting a little bit nervous there, man. If I came out with another 1-4 like I did in week 2, we'd be looking a little bit gruesome. But it was a fun week, man. I liked a lot of the games. I'll kind of talk about it a little bit later, but I was down in Pittsburgh this weekend for the Bengals and Steelers. Fun game. I know Breeze was down at Ford Field for the Lions game. Saw that record-breaking field goal to win it. So yeah, I mean, do you have any bets that were kind of bad beats this week, or you really were upset? Any grievances?
We can start with Monday Night Football and the Eagles.
Yeah, that was a tough one, man.
Talk about what a mess that was. Every time they'd like come back and score, I'm like, oh, I'm back in this game, and then just another stupid decision would happen. Yeah, I was way off on that one. What else? Jacksonville. I mean, I didn't watch a lot of the games because I was at the Lions game, but I remember my phone kept blowing up because Jacksonville kept scoring. And then I remember I just like looked again at my phone and then they were down 10. So
yeah, man, that was.
I don't know what happened in that game.
Honestly, like I was watching that game just kind of like on like the highlights on my phone as well. And like you said, I turned to the guys behind me. I said, dude, I think the Jags might pull this off. Same thing with the Lions for that matter.
Yeah.
But we kept kind of mentioning it to the guys behind us. And the one guy's like, dude, no way the Jags pull it off. And I'm like, I don't know, man. They're looking pretty good. But obviously.
They were like up at half or something. And then like I didn't check it till the end of the game. I was like, oh, geez, they didn't cover.
Yeah.
And then I had the Steelers. So let's not talk about that one.
Yeah, the Steelers game, I had the under in that. Yeah, that was a fun one actually to be having the under on just because of how bad Big Ben was in that offense. I was like, all right, yeah, just keep getting sacked, man. But it was a fun week, man. You know, like I said, obviously anytime I'm going 6-0, I'm pretty happy. But we'll move on to this week, guys. Big week 4 ahead of us. I know Breeze has got a lot of plays on deck, and so do I. So we'll start off with that Thursday night game. Speaking of the Jaguars, the line right now is Bengals -7.5 over the Jags. We got an over-under of 46.5. What do you got here? I know I got to play just like you do.
Yeah, so for me in this one, taking the under. I feel like it's just a smart play here. Both are not bad on defense, I think. Both offenses can tend to struggle. However, I do think 7.5 is quite a lot. The Jags are due to cover eventually, so it might not be another bad option to lean. But my play here, I'm taking the Jags under. I just think it'll be like a head-to-head battle, like points wise, not that much scoring. See like 24, maybe 18 game, 17 game. So I see this one going under. Have it at 46.
Yeah, FanDuel Sportsbook is what we're using today for the odds. Shout out FanDuel, but we got under 46.5. So yeah, take that half point, man. It's -115. That's that line. So I'm on that as well. I like under 46.5, man. Just like Breeze was saying, this is one of those games where I don't think the Jags are going to be able to score very much at all. Honestly, when I'm looking at, I know last week they played pretty good, put up some points, but that Bengals defense, they shut down the Steelers offense. I'm not saying the Steelers have some juggernaut of an offense, but I'm thinking rookie quarterback going into Cincinnati. I like this Bengals team a lot. I think their defense is a little bit underrated, and the Bengals aren't really, putting up, an absurd amount of points right now. The only way I see this game going over is if the Bengals put up like 35 points, and I'm not really seeing that either. If this game starts kind of getting into like a big lead, maybe they kind of slow it down, just really run the ball a lot with a big lead, and maybe we kind of get that cover. But 46.5 points, to me, when I saw that line, I'm like, oh, that's an easy under.
Yeah.
And a lot of people aren't really taking the under. Maybe they just see the Bengals offense last week kind of getting it going with Jamar Chase, but I love the under, man. I love it.
Yeah,
So,
I think they're like most of the public's on the over too, surprising me.
yeah.
But yeah, like I think you said, the only way this game goes over is if Jacksonville goes out to an early lead and Bengals got to start throwing the ball. I feel like they're going to mix in some runs, some throws. They usually take the time on possession pretty well.
Yeah. Last week when I was at that game with Cincinnati, once they kind of got up on the Steelers, the way they kind of play called, it was definitely, let's run the ball. And they were really running the clock at the end. I thought I might get burned on the under last week, but they were kind of playing pretty conservative at the end. So we'll move on to the next game for the slate. It's going to be the Washington football team versus the Falcons. We got not Redskins, Washington football team -1 with an over-under of 48. And then the money line right now is Washington football team -112, Falcons -104 if you want to dabble that instead.
Yeah, so for me, funny you said Redskins because they said it on Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, it's like just so hard to forget about it.
Yeah.
They just need a new name already. For fuck's sake. But in this one, I'm taking Washington football team -1.5. I think, what is it on FanDuel? Is it -1.5 right now?
Yeah, it's -1.5. You got a money line to -112. So at that point, personally, I just go money line. Yeah. -112.
I have -1.5, but yeah, if you can get that money line, I would take that as well. For me, I just feel like the Falcons' offense line is going to get like pretty much embarrassed in this one. And I don't see them hanging with the football team's defensive line. Chase Young's going to get after Matt Ryan. I just see this one being a defensive struggle when it comes to Atlanta. So I think Heineke is going to put up some points a little bit. Still, I honestly probably lean under in this one as well. Probably see like a 24, 21 game. But I'd take Washington in this one.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of funny. 2 games in a row, we're actually on the same side here. I got Washington football team. I'm going to take that money line -112. So, hey, man, anytime Breeze and Beast are on 2 plays in a row, this is a good start to the podcast. I had no idea what his plays were coming in. So I feel the same way, man. I think the Washington football team defense is really the part of that team that kind of carries them. That's the side of the ball I'm really focusing on here. Falcons, man, I took them last week +3. I was happy to get a win, but God, man, they barely pulled that one off against the stinky Giants. I mean, really, like the Giants, I think, are one of the worst teams in the league this year, and the Falcons barely pulled it off. Falcons are not a good team. Not to say Washington football team is really that good, but I'm taking Heineke, man. We're going to kind of roll with it, see what we can do. Maybe he turns something up on offense, and really the defense is nice, man. I love Chase Young. I'm really excited about that Washington defense going forward. I think they're going to really hold this one down for us, and we're going to see, the Falcons just really struggle on offense. So we're going to take -112 on the money line there. Love that one. We'll move on to how about Titans and Jets? Right now the spread is Titans -7 and an over-under of 43.5. Do you got a play on this?
Yeah, so I'm looking here. I have the Jets in this one. Could be a really stupid pick, honestly, but it's just one of those things where they got to get it going at some point here. Titans have looked okay at times, but I just feel like 7 at home is quite a bit of points. I just think, Zach Wilson hopefully will have something to show for at home here for us to finish.
Yeah.
But this could be a really dumb pick come Monday. Not one of my favorites, a little reach here, but I think just getting a touchdown at home is too many points for me. So that's why I took the Jets here. And the Titans defense hasn't impressed me a whole lot. So as long as they stop Derrick Henry, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, this is a game I actually got a teaser, and I'm taking Titans down to -1. We're gonna do a 6-point teaser, so you tease it down from -7 to -1. It's the first end of a teaser. I'll get to the other end of it. I'll kind of explain that in a minute here once we get to that game. But really like the Titans in this one, not necessarily on a -7. I kind of agree with Breeze in a sense that I don't know if it's going to get out of hand, but I'm teasing it down to -1 just because there's no way that the Titans don't win this game, frankly. And I hate to give absolutes, and whatever, but the Jets are just fucking dog shit this year, man. I mean, maybe the Jets can kind of stay in this game and, they lose by like 6 or something and cover, lose by 4 or whatever, but it's going to be a Titans win almost, certain on that one. I like Tannehill a lot. Like you said, Derrick Henry, what a fucking beast that guy is. He's a monster. Just really like having that in a teaser down to -1, man. Excited about that game. I think it could be potentially a close game, like Breeze said, but I don't see this one being anything like a Jets win or anything. We're going to get a Titans win. So, like -1 and teaser. So, how about let's go to, we'll go Lions and Bears. Bears -3 right now. We have an over-under of 42. Do you have a play on this game?
No.
Yeah.
Being at the Lions game last week, I was on the Ravens, so it was like tough to cheer against them, and they ended up almost breaking my heart. And that basically taught me to never touch them again. I'm just gonna cheer for them. Hope they cover here. I think they cover because, in my opinion, the line just seems like a trap. Like if I was making this line, it would be like 6.
Yeah.
I don't get why it's 3. So I think there's one you take the Bears, and I don't know what Matt Nagy's doing. I feel like the play calling last week was just to make Justin Fields look like shit on purpose, just to prove to him, like the fans, that Andy Dalton's better. But I think if Bears lose this game, that guy's got to go.
Right.
But I think this could also go over. I think I last looked, it was probably like in the 40s.
Yeah,
Um,
43 and a half.
yeah, that's
43 and a
low.
half.
I know like the Lions defense stepped up last week, but I don't know. I would probably lean over in this one if I had to pick.
Okay. It's actually, yeah, sorry, I misspoke on that 42. So yeah, if you're liking the over, it's even better at 42 if you would
Yeah.
take that. But yeah, this is a game where I hate to bet on my hometown team, man, but I'm taking Lions +3, and so is the public at the moment. There's more bets on Lions +3. Maybe people are just kind of saying the same thing that we're saying, that Matt Nagy's just a joke. But I think the win over the Bengals in Week 2 is kind of a fluke. I don't really think the Bears are all that good. Not to say that our Detroit Lions are some great team. I was talking shit about them last week because they're not good. But you know what, man, that second half, they kind of got some life going against the Ravens. And I think the Ravens are a better team than the Bears. So
Yeah.
maybe kind of, Jared Goff, can kind of cook something up here. I don't know. The Lions are still kind of trying to find their, style and, obviously a completely new coaching staff. So maybe they're kind of starting to kind of find a little bit of their way on offense. I think they can stay in this game enough. I don't see the Bears blowing them out. Frankly, you never know. The Lions could even win this game. I think these two teams are really both bottom of the NFC North. And it's kind of just a battle of who's going to take, 4th place. So in my opinion, I'm taking Lions +3 all day. It's probably not my most confident play. I'll be straight with you guys just because I've seen the Lions and what they do. But man, if they could hang with the Ravens last week and, show us what they showed us, I think they can hang out with the Bears, man, kind of get a +3 cover for us at least, So we'll go Lions +3 on that one. We'll move on though. Let's go Browns and Vikings. Line is Browns -2 on the road, and an over/under at 51.5. Do you have a play on this?
Yeah, so I'm gonna take a surprising one here. I'm taking Minnesota +2. The reason why, I think their offense is clicking this year. Kirk Cousins looks pretty good. Even Cook didn't play last week, but Madsen looked pretty good as well. So I feel like even if Cook doesn't play, the running game's still looking good. I just feel like the Browns defense is good enough. I just feel like, I don't know, they're at Vikings at home. They could easily be 3-0 this year if it wasn't for some missed field goals. I think they're playing pretty well. So I'm just going to take the Vikings +2 here. I just know the public's going to love the Browns. They're going to be like, well, this is -2, easily going to take the Browns. But I just feel like the Vikings at home is a play here.
Yeah, for sure. I don't have a play on this, but I completely agree. I feel like the Vikings are a completely different team at home. And I think there was a lot of cappers kind of explaining that last week. For whatever reason, when they're at home, especially in their new stadium, since they started in that stadium a few years ago, their record against the spread, I wish I had it written down. I had it last week, but very, very impressive against the spread while at home. They're almost a completely different team. It feels like Kirk Cousins is very comfortable there. Dalvin Cook's been doing very well. Think the Browns are a good team. It's not to say the Browns aren't. I'm a big Baker Mayfield guy. I love the Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt thing they got going on, but I don't think they should be laying 2. This feels like more of a pick 'em, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I could see the Browns winning, but I like the Vikings getting 2 at home. Love what Kirk Cousins has been doing this year, like you said. I think they kind of really found something with that offense, but especially at home, give me the Vikings fans, getting that place rowdy. +2, really, really good number. I like that a lot. So
Yeah, no, I think this is going to be a game that proves if Cleveland's serious to win a Super Bowl. If they
yeah,
win this game on the road, my expectations with them go a lot bigger, and I think they're a Super Bowl contender. These are the type of games they haven't won in the past.
yeah,
So if they do it this week, will change my aspect on them moving forward for sure.
yeah. Completely agree. Completely agree. We got another game coming up here with the Colts and the Dolphins. Right now it's Miami laying -1.5. Then we got over under of 42.5. Do you have a play on this one?
No, I didn't take one in this one. I really wanted to honestly take the Colts, but it's just been so tough to back them this year. And same with the Dolphins. Wouldn't be surprised if the Colts won this one outright. Feel like Carson Wentz is due for his first win. And just Jacoby Brissett hasn't impressed me a whole lot. I don't even think he's thrown a touchdown pass in the 2 games he's played. So I don't know. If I had to pick, I'd lean Colts here. I wouldn't be surprised if they won outright. It's just too close of one for me to play.
Yeah, I agree. It's pretty close in that sense. It's hard, man. Jacoby Brissett, I want to believe that he's got enough in, that offense to win, at home, but I can't be confident on that. So if I was to probably put anything on this game, I'd either probably try to look for some player prop. I don't have anything off the top of my head, but really that under 42.5. These teams stink, and the Colts defense really is not that bad. I think this game's going to be kind of ugly. I don't think Carson Wentz is right. I was saying last week I didn't think he'd play. He did play. He kind of looked out of sync. The ankles are still kind of bothering him. Who knows? You never know. If something comes up in practice this week or the trainers just feel like it's not a good call to have him go this week, you may see this line really change if he's not playing. But 42.5, it's such a low number, but I still think they're probably going to go under. But staying away, don't have a play in this game. Kind of an ugly game. And I didn't expect that like these 2 teams would have an ugly game like this. When you got backup quarterbacks and banged up quarterbacks, it's not the same 2 teams. So let's go Panthers and Cowboys though. Cowboys laying -4.5 at home. We got an over under of 50.5. What are we thinking here, man?
So that one, I don't have a play on. Honestly, Cowboys really impressed me, but they're just known for like disappointing seasons. So maybe they have something different this year. Dax looked great. I think he's MVP contender for sure based on how he's playing. I think that defense looked impressive last week against the Eagles, but to be honest, I don't think they're as good as they've played. I feel like this game they could really get torn apart in the passing game. I think Sam Darnold's looked pretty good. DJ Moore's looked pretty good. I know McCaffrey's probably out on this one, but Hubbard didn't look bad as his backup. And I feel like they run the ball against the Cowboys to get the play action going. I would probably take Panthers +4.5 here. I feel like 4.5 is quite a bit. I probably would have put the line at like -2.5 Cowboys. So I'd lean Panthers. I don't have an official play on this one. It's just too close for me to call. I don't really know what to expect with their offense without McCaffrey playing. So I'm going to stay away from this one.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't have a play going in, but I'm looking at it right now, and it's just looking real tasty, or the under, man. 50.5 points, so many points. listen, I know the Panthers haven't played, all that great at teams ever. The 3 teams they've played, none of them have a single win on the season. So some people are like, well, maybe the Panthers, or no, never mind. I'm thinking Broncos on that. Forget that stat. But we're gonna look at that Panthers defense still. And the Panthers, man, they're looking good on defense to the point where I think Dallas might actually be slowed down a little bit. Like you said, Dallas's defense looked pretty good last week against the Eagles on Monday Night Football. It's not to say Dallas and the Panthers, don't have, a ton of firepower on offense, because I do like what Darnold's doing. I do like what Dak Prescott's done this year, but 50.5 points, man, just looks too tasty not to take the under when you got the Panthers, who are really looking good right now on defense, to the point where I feel like they're going to actually hold down Dak, in my opinion, and then add in just, right now that Panthers offense is probably having a little bit of issues with McCaffrey being out. I like Hubbard, I agree, but 50.5 points, I'm going to take the under here. Kind of just a play I'm just looking at right now, and I'm adding to the slate, but really like under 50.5. We're going to add that in on the Action Network probably as we speak. So we'll go Giants and Saints next. How about Saints minus 7.5? An over under of 41.5 in that game. Do you have a play on this?
Yeah, so on this one, might be another stupid play, but I like it. I'm taking the Giants plus 7.5, giving me a touchdown. I'll take it. I think obviously the Saints still wins. Great spot to maybe tease the Saints. However, I just think 7.5 is too much. They could have and should have won the game last week against the Falcons. They honestly just kind of choked that one away. They've looked impressive at times, the Giants have. The Saints, I just feel like could be a letdown here. They know they're playing a shitty team. So I don't know. I feel like this could be a good chance for the Giants to win their first game. I know it's probably not going to happen, but you're giving me 7.5 points. I'll take that any day.
Yeah, for sure. This was a game I was kind of dabbling. I even told you before, the show that, maybe I'll add Saints minus 4.5 or something. Didn't end up adding it. Don't like it. Kind of agree. It feels like, the Saints have looked really, really good at times this year, like we said. But maybe this is a letdown game. Maybe the Giants kind of pull, some last minute strings, kind of get a touchdown to put it within 7 points. 7.5 points is a tough spread to cover. And they say, good teams win, but great teams cover. We'll see if the Saints are really that good this week. This feels like it for sure could be a letdown. But that over under 41.5, that's ugly. That's very, very ugly. I think I would stay away. Yeah, I think I would stay away from
that might be even under. The Saints play so slow offensively. That's why I like the plus 7.5. Usually like big spreads like that, you got to be like some nasty offense, like you're just gunning the ball, like Chiefs or some Ravens.
Like the Bills have done this year. The Bills have blown some teams out this year. I don't really see the Saints doing that.
I'm getting a 7.5 point spread against a team that ranks 31 in total offense. I'm gonna take my chances. So that's another reason I'm on the Giants plus 7.5 here.
Hey man, nothing like riding with the New York Giants against a fucking Sean Payton, defense.
The Giants, the worst fan base you could possibly have. But I'm riding with those pieces of garbage.
We're gonna have some Giants in on the comments on the videos this week. And man, what do you got a problem with us, man? So
you're like Eli Manning, the GOAT. Okay, buddy.
Hey man, nothing like the Manning broadcast on ESPN. I've loved it so far. But all right, man, we'll keep it rolling though. Let's go Chiefs and Eagles. We got Chiefs minus 7, over under a 54.5. Man, that's a high number. Do you got anything on this game?
Yeah, so in this one, I'm teasing the Chiefs. I'm teasing them down to -1, so a 6-point teaser. And then I'll have another play to go with it. They're definitely going to win this game outright. I believe that Eagles defense looked awful in the passing game. They're going to get demolished, I think, in the passing game. The only thing that worries me about the Chiefs covering the -7 now?
Yep, -7.
Yeah, the only thing that worries me about that is just that their defense isn't good, the Chiefs. So I feel like the Eagles probably will keep up, probably win by like 3 or 4. That's why I'm teasing them down to -1. But they've lost 2 in a row. They're not losing 3 in a row.
Yeah, I'm kind of agreed. The This is a game I'd love to say, let's take the under, such a high number, but you know what, man? I just can't trust betting against Pat Mahomes. Don't think that Chiefs defense is something outstanding. They should keep them in the game. But I could see Jalen Hurts kind of getting something going. But 54.5, holy shit, that's a high number.
Yeah.
I'd love to just say take the number just on, like the theory of it's such a high number. But this is a game I don't have a play on. I'd love to kind of say let's take Chiefs and ride with the -7, but just can't bet on them right now. And I got some other plays I like more, so you got to stay away sometimes, even when you want to lay that -7, take Mahomes. It's fun cheering on Mahomes when you have a bet on him. So
Yeah.
I'd love
But
to do it, but just don't
I
got
saw
it in me.
a record. I forgot what the stat was, but they're awful at covering the spread, the Chiefs.
Yeah, they are. But let's
That's what I was like, I'm just gonna tease these boys down.
Right.
They
Yeah,
should cover, but I'm teasing them down.
You know what? We were saying last week, same thing with this week. A lot of 7-point spreads, a lot of higher spreads you can tease down. It's a perfect situation if you've never teased on games before. A lot of these teasers we're announcing are perfect situations because you're getting a team like the Chiefs down to -1. You can't beat that, man. And like I was talking about with the Titans earlier, you can't beat that, getting them down to -1. So
There's some good parlay spots this week. I'm trying to look right now, but like if you were parlay all the ones that were like 7-point favorites, probably wouldn't be a bad payout either.
Right. We could probably try to cook up like a plus money line parlay out of like 2 dogs maybe, but we'll keep it rolling though for the time being. Let's go Texans and Bills. That's going to be a huge spread. You know what? I thought I saw it yesterday at like -16.5. FanDuel's got it -15.5. If anybody's interested in taking that, and then an over/under of 47. What are we thinking here?
I think the best time to bet on this was Monday. I looked and they were plus 17.5. And I literally almost locked it in, and then I'm like, well, wait a minute. They are playing the Bills, but 17 points, 17.5. Come on. Like, I don't even think the Texans looked that bad against the Panthers last week. They just fell apart in the second half, but they were like in the game for the most part. Their defense isn't too bad. The only thing is you just got to worry about,
Josh
Mills.
Allen. Yeah, Josh Allen.
and Mills like keeping up with Josh Allen. So I mean, I'm staying away from this one. Probably gonna go Bills for my survivor pick this week. Until the Texans just went outright and just screw that over. But if I had a lean, I'm taking those points, baby. That's too many.
Yeah, that's 15.5 is better than 17.5. I mean, I could see the Bills winning by 16, but man, don't lay a number like that. In my opinion, I'm just very against laying large numbers like that. I know they hit sometimes, but like the Bills, as strong as that offense is, and as big of a gunslinger as Josh Allen's been this year, I know the Bills have blown out some teams. People see the 35-0 they had 2 weeks ago, and they're like, oh yeah, they could go, minus 15.5. You're right. The Texans defense may be able to kind of, if I'm the Texans, the complete way I'm strategizing this game is do not get into a shootout with Josh Allen, because you will lose by a lot. You cannot try to just get into some, firepower game. Try to control possession, whatever you got to do. I don't know, but it
What's
just feels
over under in this one?
47.
Okay.
So
I mean, if it's in the 50s, I'd probably take under, but I won't touch that.
Yeah, 47's kind of in between. Like I said, it just depends what Houston's thinking. I don't think it would be a smart idea to try to,
I think they're just going to run the ball, play it safe, try to eat up the time.
Yeah. And maybe you never know, they can stay in the game by doing, kind of a game plan like that. But I'm staying completely away from this game. Too big of a spread, man, to go one way or another. I'd love to say, take Houston, but I don't even feel confident doing that, man. Like I said, the Bills have blown out some teams. I don't feel confident to lay it, but I don't feel confident enough to, fade. So staying away from that game. But if anybody's interested, and I don't know, minus 1,500 money line, that's disgusting. So let's go. How about Cardinals and Rams? Rams minus 4.5. We got an over under of 55 in that game. I think you got to play on this. Let me know what you got.
Yeah, and this one I'm taking the Cardinals and Kyler plus 4.5. Just think their offense can keep up with the Rams. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a hater for Matt Stafford, but
You are.
I'm just expecting them to have a letdown at some point. I think they've screwed me 2 weeks in a row. I'm just gonna keep rolling the dice against them. And I know McVay's 8-0 against Arizona.
Yeah, that's a good stat for sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
So maybe eventually his luck runs out.
Yeah, his luck runs out. I mean, I don't think the Rams have played anyone as dynamic as the Cardinals on offense. So I feel like this game is going to really show how good their defense is. I think it's good. But I only watched it like the second half of the game last week with the Bucks because of the Lions game. But Brady had some chances to like really get after that defense. He missed some passes.
Right.
I don't know. I just think I'd probably take over in this one. I know it's high though, but
Yeah, this is a tough one.
but I'm taking Cardinals plus 4.5, and I think the line opened up at 6, so the sharps are leaning that way as well.
Yeah, I think it'd be even better at 6, but 4.5 is a nice number. I think there's been some people saying Arizona's overrated. I disagree. I may have even said that before, on this podcast, but I kind of disagree now that, I've seen Kyler Murray. I think he's really got that offense clicking. I like the offense that they've been running. I think they can keep up with the Rams. 4.5 points is a lot in the NFL. People forget that. I feel like it's a number that's not a huge, number in college, but in the NFL, these teams are very close typically, unless you're the New York Jets. I don't know, then you're not really close. But the Cardinals and the Rams really don't have a huge gap, in my opinion. This feels like more of like a 1 to 2 point spread. I think 4.5 is a great number. I don't have a play on it like you do, but it would feel like it's the correct play. It's just tough because the Rams obviously won by 10 last week over the Bucks, and we feel like the Bucks are this, great team as well. So you just got to hope that the Rams don't kind of, I don't know, turn it up like they did last week. But I think the Cardinals will stay in this game. So you got 4.5 there. Let's go. How about Seahawks and 49ers, man? You got to play on this one. It's 49ers -3, over under a 52.
So this is my second part of my teaser with the Chiefs. I'm teasing the Seahawks to +9. I just feel like 49ers kind of got exposed last week with the Packers. Russell Wilson, I think, will put up points on that defense. The only thing is the Seahawks defense going to hold them down enough? That's why 3, I think, is too low for me. That's why I'm teasing them to 9. I don't see this game being any higher than like 7, whoever's going to win. And it's pretty much almost a rivalry, I would say, with these two. So I just think it's always been a battle. Seattle swept them both times last year. So I like Seattle in this one. They got to bounce back. I think they've lost 2 in a row now. So I'm taking them in the teaser with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I got Seahawks +3 in this one as well. I didn't tease it like you did, but I'm confident, man. I know the public's kind of agreeing with me, probably just because they're, big Russell Wilson fans like everybody is. But man, that Seahawks, team, I don't feel like they're a 1-2 team. I know they've lost 2 games, obviously, but they don't appear like a 1-2 team. There's a lot of other 1-2 teams that are far worse than the Seahawks. So I think kind of that's going into this number. And maybe Vegas is just trying to trap us into taking Seahawks +3 because we've seen what the 49ers have done. But I don't feel that 49ers team is really all that great. I think they played pretty good against the Packers last week, but I don't actually think that they're all that great of a team. I think the Seahawks probably could be favorites in this game. I know they're on the road, but Russ has been, turning up, since he's gotten in this league. I think he's going to keep it going, man. I always like when they say, hey, let Russ cook, man. Let Russ cook. And I think that's what we got to do this week, man. I think the Seahawks, they're 1-2. I know Pete Carroll's in that locker room like, yo, do something for me, Russ. Come on, turn it up, man. And I think they're going to get this win this week. I would even think about taking the money line, from me saying that, but +3, I'm all over that.
I mean, yeah, if you're with Sierra, you got to cook up something, right?
Hey, man, if nobody saw that TikTok, I'm just saying, man. Russ might be a little bit too focused on Sierra, twerking on that chair, man. I don't know. If y'all haven't seen it, Google it. But we'll keep it rolling. Enough about, Sierra's big booty. So how about let's go Baltimore Ravens and the Denver Broncos. Right now, Broncos are laying -1. It doesn't make sense because that line's -105 for -1, and you can just get a money line for -108. So you can get that, or you can take the over under of 44.5. Do you got a play on this game?
I don't personally, but I really wanted to take the Broncos here. Just held myself back like last minute. Yeah, the Ravens, I don't know what to think about them. Like, they're good, but then they just have these like against the Lions. I mean, you had Marquise Brown drop like 2 wide open passes. Like, one was in the end zone, another one was like a 30-yard completion, and then they go win on a miracle kick. I just feel like traveling to Denver's defense is pretty solid. I don't think they're going to run the ball at that altitude the same as they do. So I'd probably take Denver here. And I think Bridgewater hasn't done any mistakes to prove me wrong. So I'd take Broncos here. Not official play, might be something depending on how my 1:00 games go on Sunday. I might take them last minute, but we'll see. But I'd lean Broncos here.
Yeah, man, you'll probably be winning all your games. You're like, hey, let's add on Broncos because
how it goes. Once you're on the heater, I'll start dabbling on one or two more.
Yeah, all of his games will be like really ahead, and he'll take it with me. I got Denver money line in this one, guys, -108 on FanDuel right now. Man, I love that Denver defense. Just like you said, man, I think the Ravens have been a completely different team in different weeks. They looked bad against the Lions last week, letting the Lions back into that game. But then the week before, they're on or at home beating the Chiefs. You know what I mean? And completely different teams, in my opinion. You're beating Pat Mahomes one week, and then the next week you're winning on a 66-yard field goal that, probably doesn't go in unless you have a kicker like Justin Tucker. A very lucky win, frankly. I mean, they're lucky they're not 1-2 right now. They probably should be 1-2, but 66-yarder, whatever. But looking at that Denver defense, man, they're an absolute, beast of a team. Beast picks, man, beast of a defense. I'm riding with that all day. But like you said, man, Teddy Two Gloves, Teddy Bridgewater, man, he's looked really good this year. I liked him last year in Carolina, but he's looked pretty good for the Broncos this year. I think he's got enough in the tank, man. This feels like one of those games, too. The public is all over Baltimore. The stat I'm looking at right now is 77% of the bets on the Baltimore spread. 77% of bets, man. Everybody just sees Lamar Jackson, and they're like, oh, yeah, Lamar Jackson. Well, you know what, man? They're traveling to Denver. This one is going to be at, mile high up in the altitudes, man. I love that Broncos team, man. We're taking -108 all day. I'm fired up about this one because I like that Denver team a lot. Let's go Broncos, baby. So we'll finish it out, man, with how about Steelers and Packers? Packers are -6.5 right now on FanDuel. We got over under a 45.5. What do you got here?
Nothing. I really wanted to take the Steelers. However,
saw what happened with the Packers, yeah?
Well, not even that. Just I took them last week, and Big Ben, just please retire already. I mean, the guy is like a walking wheelchair out there. Yeah. And I just put in Mason Rudolph at this point. I don't think he's that bad. No. At least throw him out there, see if he does anything better. If not, go trade for someone or go pick up Cam Newton. He's still on the free agent market. Yeah. Shit, trade for Deshaun Watson. He'll go get a rub touch,
A rub touch.
But in this one, I mean, I feel like you got to take the Steelers. I mean, but at the end of the day, I just don't think they're very good this year. It might be the first year Tomlin doesn't have a winning season.
Yeah.
I do think 7's a lot, but yeah, I'm staying away from this one. Wouldn't surprise me if it's a closer game than 7, though.
Yeah, this is the other half of my teaser. So I announced, obviously, that I teased Titans down to -1. I teased the Packers down to -0.5 in this game. So they just got to win. And I really like the Packers this week. I've liked what they've done all year. I think, week one wasn't really a great look against the Saints, but since then, man, against the Lions and last week against the 49ers, we saw Aaron Rodgers, man. You give him 37 seconds, he can do a lot with that. And I think that just proves how good that offense can be. And I think the Packers are just looking so much better, right now as the season goes on. And then you get the Steelers, who just absolutely downhill right now. Sitting in Pittsburgh last week, hearing what the fans were saying about Big Ben, man. I had an 8-year-old kid in front of me. I'll get more into him later, but he was just like, why is this guy on our team? We need to get rid of him. It was fun. It was fun listening to it because I was like, man, I remember when Big Ben was at his prime, buddy. Like, you're 8 years old. You probably don't remember that, but I was like, he was really a good quarterback at one point. And he's like, yeah, get him off the team. And I'm like, yeah, man, I agree. He probably shouldn't be starting right now. The Packers -6.5 is probably a little bit too much, but tease it down to -0.5, like I said. And we just need the Packers to win at home in Lambeau. Love having them at home, man. So we're going to tease that down to -0.5 all day. But we'll go on to the night game, man. Kind of a fun game if you're a Tom Brady fan, kind of this rivalry now with Belichick. We got Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Patriots. Tampa Bay -7 right now on the road, and an over-under of 49.5. Do you have a play on this game?
I don't. Both of them are going to treat this like their Super Bowl, though. I can tell you that. Brady's going to be pissed. Belichick's going to fire up Pats. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if the Pats cover this one. But then it's like betting against Tom Brady in like a very angry position. He's going to get his boys fired up. I think 7's a lot, but I don't have a play on it. I'd probably lean Patriots at home. Feel like they're going to cheer for Tom, but then, they're going to try and get in his head, make him feel bad for leaving. So I'd probably lean Patriots here, but I don't know, too many points for me.
Yeah, I don't have a play on it. This is probably a game that, I don't know, man. Maybe I'll add something in, like late, you know what I mean? Depending on how all your games go. Everybody's chasing that last hour, you know what I mean? Like, it's 7:00 and people are like, oh my God, man, I got to get my bets in. Like, a lot of people joke about that. I was listening to a guy talk about it last week, but I don't have a play on this game. I'd love to say, let's just take Tom Brady -7. I feel like he's kind of he's got the upper hand in this rivalry. I don't really think Belichick has done all that great since Brady left. Meanwhile, Brady went on and won a Super Bowl. Brady doesn't need Belichick, and he's proven that he can do it on his own. And this game's probably big for Gronk too, man, because Gronk's going back to, New England, and Gronk probably wants to have a big game. So staying away, it's going to be a fun game to watch. Like I said, if I was to add anything, I think it would probably have to be like a player prop. So kind of just keep, updated with our Twitters, our Action Networks. I might throw out a player prop. I like doing that for these big games. I did it on Monday Night Football this past week. It feels like sometimes you can get a little bit of value. It's tough betting the big primetime games, but sometimes you can find some value on props. I'm a big prop guy on like the primetime games. So we'll stay away, but we'll watch that game. It's going to be a really fun Sunday Night Football. You guys got to tune in. So, but how about Monday Night Football? I know you got to play on this game. It's Raiders and Chargers. Chargers -3 right now, and an over-under of 52.5. What do we got here?
Yeah, so for this one, I'm picking the Chargers -3.5.
Oh, dude, you got -3 on FanDuel. Take that -3, man.
No, -3 then.
Yeah, -3.
Yeah, I haven't locked it in yet.
-3 then. -3.
It's going to be an official play, but I was telling you before this, I might take it off and maybe post it on Sunday because I feel like it might drop to like 2.5, honestly. So I'm kind of waiting it out, but I'm going to lean on the Chargers, whatever I get it at, as long as it doesn't go more than 4. But yeah, that's going to be one of my picks is Chargers. Just going to wait to see what the line is more so on Sunday. The Raiders have looked real good. I just don't see them going 4-0 here. I think the Chargers really impressed me last week beating the Chiefs. Going to ride that momentum at home. Crowd's nuts. They lost the last home game. Feel like they're going to get back on the winning streak at home here. So I would lean Chargers. It's going to be my official play, but just going to wait for the line more so. I'll tweet it out on Sunday.
Yeah, I don't have a play on this game as well. Or no, I know you have a play, but I don't have a play on this one. So I don't know, man. I think Chargers -3 has to be a play if you're going to do anything. But To me, it kind of feels like a trap too. So I'm a little bit nervous about that. That's why I stayed away.
Yeah.
I kind of, like you said, was thinking about maybe waiting if it gets down to -2.5. But if it gets down to -2.5, that means somebody's betting it, the other way. Maybe the sharps are on it. So it feels like a very fishy line. If there was any line of the week that feels a little bit fishy to me, it's probably this one. Feels like it's one of those games where we look at it, we're like, dude, Justin Herbert at home. This game's going to be, money. Chargers defense. You get really excited about it. And then Derek Carr and the Raiders come out and piss everybody off because they shouldn't be 4-0 and they go out and win this game or they cover it. I don't think the Raiders are really that great of a team, but they've shown up at times.
Yeah.
Obviously we saw them with that overtime win, so it's hard to say, man. I don't think they're a very good undefeated team, but I could see the Chargers winning but not covering this game. It feels like a trap to me, so I'm staying away from this game. But that wraps it up as far as the plays go. We were kind of talking about, how was your experience down at Ford Field? Kind of explain what was going on, because I know you had a lot of money on the line before that 66-yard kick. I think that people probably want to hear about what was going on here.
Yeah. So originally I just had the Ravens in a teaser with the Vikings. And then as the game's going on, seeing the Lions have a chance, everyone in the crowd's taking the over. They just keep live betting the over. Like people behind me are like, hop on the over, man. Lions defense is garbage. I'm sitting there like, I don't know, man. We're kind of stopping the run right now, like not looking bad. And then like I was just like, I can't take that. So I let the second half come. And then we get the lead. Lions get the lead. And then I'm like, dude, I'm taking them. I take the Ravens like right before the last drive.
What was the line?
I think it was like I got it like plus 178.
Yeah, that's good.
But I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna have enough time. And then like when you're in the arena, you don't even know like what the play clock's at. I know there's all that big debate that.
Oh yeah.
Often.
Yeah, it's okay with me.
No one in the arena knew what was going on, so
Right.
like
I want a loss.
Noticed. Yeah.
Draft picks.
Easier to notice at home. But like honestly, it was a hard to like. Ford Field needs to do a better job of like putting up like that up there. Like I was at times where I was like, how much time's left in the game? Like there's like the scoreboards are just like on the side of the, like on the seats of the bleachers. I'm like, we need like a bigger scoreboard here. So it was a hard time keeping track of like the time. So I was sweating, man. I think on the last drive, when we got to the kick, I just had to like leave the group and completely sit on the steps because everyone in the group knew I had Ravens in a teaser. So they're all like, how do you feel? How do you feel? Like, no way he makes this. So I'm just going to isolate myself. I go to the steps. I see it get kicked and like it looked like it was online, but I don't think it had enough at all. So I kind of like I'm about to like start looking away because like I thought they missed. And then I just hear like a thump. I'm like, oh my God, I hit the post. I look back and then you just see it like bounce like 10 feet up. I'm like, I thought I was going to hit the post again because like I was on the behind the scenes. I couldn't tell if it went in or not. And then I just see everyone start throwing drinks and shit. Just absolute chaos.
That's a mess.
And then
I
started running down the steps, like fired up. Everyone's like, yo, they lost. What the hell are you cheering about? I'm like, yeah, I know they lost. But
yeah, I didn't lose.
Hey, I'm a fan, but I don't give a shit if we lost. So I'm just like, oh, I thought he made it, like playing it off, like. But I'm telling you, when I walked out of that arena, I thought I had a migraine. That's how much stress I went through on that last drive.
Oh yeah, I was about to say, man, 66 yards. That's a lot of money on the line. But
then the best part was halftime. Calvin Johnson got his ring.
Yeah, that was very cool.
The fuck out of Sheila Ford. She was just like, "It's okay, Calvin," like because he was just basically like telling the crowd to like tone it down.
Yeah. Lions fans, if nobody knows, are not fans of the owners, the Ford family that owns obviously the stadium, but obviously owns the team. People do not like the hires that they've made at GM and everything. Everybody wants them to sell the team. You'll see sell the team t-shirts all over the place. So it's kind of an inside joke in Detroit, but they got booed. Sheila Ford got booed, when they did that presentation this week in the stadium. You guys can look that up. But no, I was in Heinz Field this weekend for the Bengals and Steelers game. Wish the Steelers played better. Obviously I hit my under, so I was happy I hit the under, but wish the Steelers played better just because it's tough when you're in a away state, in a home stadium and the home team's losing. Steelers fans were pretty pissed off. Like I said, I had this 8-year-old kid in front of me just absolutely dogging on Ben Roethlisberger. And I was telling him, I go, dude, one of my first jerseys I ever got was Ben Roethlisberger when I was like your age, like probably 9 or 10 years old. And I get this Ben Roethlisberger jersey from my uncle. And that was like prime Ben Roethlisberger, man. When I think he won the Super Bowl in Detroit like the next year. And I remember the whole town was fired up for that Super Bowl and he won it over the Seahawks. And it was a really fun time. I remember down in Detroit during that. So I'm telling this kid all this and he's just like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, dude, you probably weren't even born like before that Super Bowl 40. So I just was like, it was baffling to me, but it was kind of fun because I'm like, dude, I remember being that age and like being that into like football and stuff. This kid was telling me all about like the different teams and how he said the same thing. He said, I think Lamar Jackson's overrated. So it was really cool seeing an 8-year-old that into the game. And maybe that's just the difference, man. Steelers fans, almost everybody in that crowd, it seemed like they knew football. This wasn't just like, oh, I'm going to the game with my friends to get drunk. It was like, no, man, like even, like
that's how the Lions game was.
You'd see like these girls.
The two girls we were with asked us after the game, we won, right? That's when I was like, I gotta walk away.
Right. Yeah. And like, I seen these two girls that were like in like, cut off shirts, and like, got glitter all over their face. And you'd think like they probably wouldn't be your typical fan to know a lot, but they were like breaking down, like we were waiting in line for the beer line, they're breaking down plays and stuff. So it was cool seeing how into the NFL and like how big of fans they are. I guess that's the difference when like you have 6 Super Bowls as a franchise versus Detroit with 0 Super Bowls. So it was a fun time though. Beautiful stadium, man. That Ohio River runs along the side. I took a couple pictures. We were up in like the top of the stadium, so you could see the river while you're watching the game. Beautiful outdoor stadium. Had a lot of fun in Pittsburgh, but that was kind of a little bit of a bummer seeing the Steelers not play so well. And Big Ben's definitely on his way out. So, but yeah, so I think that wraps it up for us, though, guys. To sum it up, I had Jags under 46, 46.5 on FanDuel. I had Lions +3. I had the Washington football team money line. I had Seahawks +3. I had the Broncos money line, and then I had a teaser of Titans -1, Packers -0.5, and then last minute I kind of added that under in the Panthers game, under 50.5. Really like that number. So hopefully we can get some wins for you guys this week. What do you have on your lineup, Breeze?
Yeah, so for me, we're going under Jags. For Thursday Night Football, Giants +7.5, Jets +7, Vikings +2, Washington football team -1, or money line, whatever you
take
can
a
get.
money line, yeah.
And then I have a teaser 6-pointer, Seahawks +9, Chiefs -1, Cardinals +4.5, and then TBD on the Chargers, what that line's going to be, but I'm going to take the Chargers for Monday night. Just waiting to see if that line drops by then.
Definitely. So hopefully, if
another
you guys can't,
6-0 week for the boys, maybe.
Yeah, hey man, maybe I can go 6-0, make myself 16-8, some absurd numbers. But you know what, 10-8 right now for me, and 14-11 and 1 for Breeze. We're winning games for you guys. If you guys didn't tune in this last week, you missed out on a big week for me. So you guys got to keep tuning in, subscribe for us, and we'll try to keep winning games for you guys. So that wraps it up though for us. We'll see you guys next week. All right.
Yeah, sounds good. And make sure to follow us on Twitter. Keep that engagement going. Maybe we'll go on like Twitter Spaces or something on like Sunday morning if we can get the engagement up. Be happy to do that for everyone. So
yeah,
make sure to give us a follow on that, and maybe we can do something on Twitter as well.
Yeah, we'll be posting this probably Thursday afternoon. So I'd love to do like a Twitter Spaces if Breeze can hook that up. I've never done that before, but we can hook it up for you guys. Maybe either do Sunday morning, or maybe like, Sunday night before, Sunday night football, if people wanted to do that, kind of recap how our 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock games went. But we can do that for you guys. Make sure, like he said, to follow us, subscribe, and give us some feedback. So we'll see you guys next week though.